Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Bow and Arrow Tarot. Today we're going to get right into the full moon eclipse reading for the sign of Taurus. Today's going to be a little bit different though. This is going to be a collaboration video with myself and my good friend Lady Danni, aka Landed Gentress, who's a master herbalist, and she's going to go ahead in the second portion of the video and talk about some herbs that you can use to combat negativity, to cleanse, to purify, to help to heal. All right, guys. Now, if you want to go straight to that portion of the video, you can always go into the description and go to the timestamp. But otherwise, we're going to get right into it, Taurus. And we're going to start off for this full moon, December 26th, eclipse period, by pulling out your animal spirit. Now, the eclipse, it's a full eclipse. It's a full moon and a full eclipse. So this is a really auspicious time to do cleansing and clearing. Right? And it's also a time, certainly every full moon is a time where you begin to see some of the rewards of your, your labor, the fruits of your labor coming in. Start to see, plans that you've put in place, starting to see how they are turning out. And certainly this eclipse period is going to be a good time to sort of begin to decide how you want to move forward as well on some of your plans. So we're going to start with one animal spirit, Taurus, and then we're going to go ahead and just pull out 3 cards for your tarot read. It's going to be a short video just to look at the energies around this full moon period. And your card is the spider spirit, making your dreams real. All right, Taurus, this is beautiful energy, the spider. And the spider talks about, when we work with spirit, when we talk about working with spirit, talk about working with the energies of the universe, right? You can't just sit back and expect the universe to bring your dreams to you, right? Sitting back, praying and hoping and wishing for things to happen without any effort of your own just doesn't work, right? And so Taurus, you know this better than anyone. I myself am a Taurus rising. Taurus is very, very hardworking, strong earth energy, right? And so you understand the nature of this. And so spider spirit is right up your alley, because in order to make our dreams come true, the first thing we must do is take an intentional step forward, making that first step, right? Not being afraid, right? And understanding that dreams require commitment and effort. And Taurus, who better than to manifest your dreams than you? Your readings have been off the chain lately. Really, certainly your 2020 outlook, and that's linked in the description. Please don't forget to check that out. But let's go ahead and pull out your 3 cards, and we're going to take a look at specifically what kind of energy you're coming into this full moon period with, what you're met with, and what the outcome is. This is my my traditional sort of 3-card spread that I use in a lot of my readings, certainly in my simplified readings when we're just looking at the energies that you're dealing with at a particular time or date, right? Certainly today, which is December 26th, it is actually the full moon today, and the eclipse is happening today. So I'm doing all of the readings back to back. Surely by the time I get to the end, my voice will be gone, but nevertheless, I persevere. Let's see what my lovely Taurus sign of the bull should be expecting from this full moon period. All right, do excuse any background noise. I do live on the East Coast, right in the middle of the city. So, all right, we have Judgment, 4 of Swords, and 4 of Cups. Wow. All right, we got 2 4s and Judgment. Interesting. So bottom of the deck, we have Knight of Swords. So coming in, right, with strong sort of mental clarity, right? Knight of Swords talks about a lot of mental clarity. All right, just fix the camera there. So yeah, definitely talking about mental clarity, quickness, right? Being able to come up with solutions. But the Knight of Swords, more than anything, talks about cutting away obstacles, right? With the Page of Swords, we see ourselves fighting against negative thoughts, right? Negative self-doubt, negativity that others perhaps may be trying to put on your situation. The page is the first step at fighting that in terms of keeping those types of thoughts at bay. With the Knight of Swords, which is the next level up in the court cards of, there you are, Taurus energy, court cards of the swords, we talk about actually physically in terms of, well, I'm not saying physically like physically fighting, but physically going out and getting rid of obstacles, taking practical steps like the spider spirit, right? Coming up with practical solutions to problems, right? And really attacking them, right? Whereas, like I say, and I said this comparison with the page because, you know, it's always good to understand that the court cards are a succession of mastering that suit. So with the page, we begin by overcoming fear and doubt. And with the knight, we get to the next level. The queen is, of course, water and the kings are fire. But knights are all air. And so we have air of air here. And this is talking about being extremely practical, present, and sort of active in overcoming obstacles, cutting away anything that is holding you back from achieving your dreams, Taurus, right? This has been such, you know, these last few readings I've been doing for you have been so sort of inspiring, Taurus. This is really, really a good time for you and certainly a good year coming up. Now, Judgment talks about a period in your life where you begin to see situations or events from all sides, not just from your side. You begin to understand sides to a scenario that perhaps you were a little bit overcritical about. Maybe you were, sorry about that. It's like, I'm so sorry. It's like the noise never stops, right? All right, Judgment talks about sort of revisiting a situation perhaps that you were overcritical with. This is also the card for reconciliation, right? It's kind of mislabeled in a way, right? Because you feel like judgment is judgment day. But actually, if anything, it's more about releasing judgment. Certainly releasing judgment on ourselves, right? It can very much, judgment also talks, this card also talks about sort of facing up to being hypercritical or overcritical of ourselves, right? And blaming ourselves, right? Forgiveness begins at home. And so with the Judgment card, we talk about a feeling of reconciliation, a feeling of perhaps wanting to go back to a particular situation with somebody and revisit it, right? Or at least for you to sort of let go of your own sort of guilt in a situation, understanding that you too, Taurus, are human and you make your own decisions as well based on the different things that you go through as well, right? And you know, sometimes perhaps maybe you look back and you say, you know, I could have made that decision a little bit differently. Perhaps I could have handled that a little bit better. This is the nature of judgment. So this is why this is a great card for reconciliation, certainly. So you come into the week with this energy, Taurus, of forgiveness, of really kind of pulling back perhaps some of your anger in a situation. Now you come up against the Four of Swords. This is a real feeling of being strategic, right? You found a certain level of stability, and I think that you don't want your feelings of sort of empathy and compassion, you don't want that to sort of disrupt the stability that you found. And I think in a lot of ways, Taurus, this week, and certainly during this full moon eclipse period, you are being very careful. You know, even though you do feel, you know, you've softened sort of your attitude or stance on something, you're still being very, very careful. And I'm going to say this is probably to do with perhaps a love scenario. Certainly. Could do with friendships, perhaps the state of a friendship, right? But also a love scenario, a state of a love affair or a love connection, perhaps where something went on. You know, an example would be, say for instance, you had a love connection with someone and it didn't really work out, but the way it went down was kind of rough, right? And so it's been a while, your anger has subsided because of course, Taurus, you are known for your formidable anger, and I understand it because I'm a Taurus rising. I honestly, I get it, you know, it can be like foaming at the mouth, you know, but you know, so you look back on it and say perhaps to yourself, you know, maybe I could have handled that better. Maybe I didn't have to go so overboard, right? And so you're relaxing some of that attitude you had, but yeah, at the same time, you still feel like you weren't in the wrong, right? And you don't want necessarily that other person, and this is just an example, you don't want the other person to suddenly feel as though, you know, they can just come back in or things will go right back to the way they were simply because you're showing a little bit of compassion and empathy, right? And so this is the combination of these two. You're wanting to soften your stance, but you're certainly not wanting to lose your stability. And so you're being very careful about how you're handling a certain situation. You have another 4, and this is how you round off 4 of Cups. And this is quite interesting because this is, again, kind of back to what I was talking about, in the sense that you round off with a feeling of not accepting their cup of love. I think that for someone, because they see that you've loosened perhaps some of your empathy. Another example could be, say, you stopped speaking to someone and now you've begun to sort of maybe say, okay, hello, I'll be cordial, I'll be civil, you know what I mean? And so this is sort of your kind of, you know, being a little bit less harsh, right? And then all of a sudden they come right back in with the same bullshit. And you're like, hang on a second. Just because I'm being cordial, just because I'm being civil with you does not mean that I'm willing to accept you back in my life. Because 4 of Cups is very clear that you are unwilling to accept their cup of love. Now, 4 of Cups does very strongly talk about, you know, a lot of people interpret this as sort of, you know, not accepting help to even though you need the help. And that can certainly be an interpretation. But a lot of times with 4 of Cups, again, 4 being the number for stability, talks about wanting to maintain your stability, right? It's like saying, look, I've seen these cups before. And certainly if you are dealing with somebody that you've been dealing with before, right? This could be one of these breaking up, getting together, breaking up, you know what I mean? Or you've been friends, you've gotten together, then you broke up, you know. So these 3 cups could be the same 3 cups that, you know, have been offered literally from the same hand, right? But in any case, your attitude is, look, the last 3 cups were empty. You know, you know what I thought I would get from them, I didn't get. You know, and so now you're coming back with this cup of love again, and I'm just not willing to accept it. This is the card I call my show and prove card. Show me, you know, show me, prove to me, or at least show me what I should expect from this particular cup of love, because it seems to look like the other 3, and I've been there, done that, and no thank you, I don't want it. Right? And so in a lot of ways, the 4 of Cups can also be a time in your life when you're trying to maintain your stability. Because you have dreams on your mind, Taurus. You know, you have dreams to accomplish. And it's quite interesting that Spider Spirit would come out with, which is all about taking steps to make your dreams real, would still come out as a spirit animal over a spread that is really to do with a relationship or the state of a relationship. Why? Because Taurus, you're so fucking ambitious. You are so ambitious. You are so hardworking. Your dreams are who you are. And so, you know, your love life and your life just can't be separated in that way. Anybody who wants to be with you has to understand that you have dreams and has to be willing to deal with that, right? Anybody that you deal with who's coming into your purview, who's trying to offer you a cup of love, you're always going to feel like, look, I got shit to do. I got a business. I got ambition. I have other things to do. So, you know what I mean? Like, these dreams I have for me are so important to me. And I'm not prepared to, like, throw them away, slow them down, or anything for you, right? Certainly not for an empty cup. So if you want Taurus, if you want your beautiful Taurus, female or male, what have you, my readings are not gender specific or sexual orientation specific. If you want that gorgeous Taurus, and they are incredible creatures, Taurus, Sun Taurus, Moon Taurus individuals are really incredible, then you're going to have to show them what it is you're offering them. And this is the stance that you're taking, because in the meantime, in between time, you have dreams to fulfill, right? Now, we're going to hand you over to Lady Danny from Landed Gentress, my good friend and master herbalist. And she's going to talk to you about some herbs that you can use to fortify yourself, to protect yourself, and to sort of get rid of any negative energy that's surrounding you right now, that's going to help you remain clear-headed and strategic throughout this full moon period. And here she is.
Hi. This is Lady Danny from Landed Gentress Handcrafted Herbals. And if you've just had your reading, perhaps you'd like to be proactive on the information you've learned. And towards that end, I'd like to introduce you to sage. Sage, Salvia officinalis, has been used since medieval times. Salvia actually comes from the Latin salvare, which means to be well, and officinalis simply means that this was a plant that was used both culinarily and medicinally. Now, this was so popular in medieval times that many monasteries grew tons of this. And why? Well, because it helps in so many different medical issues. In fact, at one point it was called the savior plant because it felt that it could really save you from virtually any illness or problem that you had. It works as a natural anti-infective, as a natural antibacterial. It will fight Pseudomonas, staph, and strep infections. It's also great in other viral infections. It helps with the hot flashes of menopause. It can help with cognitive issues because it helps fight free radicals in your body. And we believe that that may actually help with circulation and also as an anti-inflammatory help with some of those problems that end up becoming Alzheimer's or other cognitive issues. The other great thing about this was as people were getting healed after using it, then they began burning it. They would take just leaves of it and throw it on the embers just to clear the house, to disinfect it, but also to drive out any of that negativity from being ill. And that's how it began to be used psychically. People are now, and you might be more familiar seeing it in this, guys, which is a white sage bundle. Now, like I said, this was being burned in the Middle Ages just to drive out any kind of negativity and also to disinfect the area. But now it's become very popular, especially around the New Age time when people began experimenting with crystals and using this to clear negative psychic energy. And sage does a really wonderful job on that. But don't forget the powerful antibacterial properties it has. So not only are you taking away negative energy, but you're also protecting yourself by clearing the other things that can be in the air that would start infections. Like if you're doing this in your home at cold and flu season, you may find that it actually helps you from coming down with the next big bout of lurgy or cold or flu that other people are coming down with. Now, if you don't know how to do this properly, I actually do have a smudge kit that's available through landedgentress.etsy.com. And in this kit, you will receive 2 bundles of sage. You'll also get cedar, a stick of Palo Santo, the traditional abalone shell, which is used that you hold underneath of your sage bundle when you are burning it so the ashes don't fall everywhere, along with the traditional turkey feather that is used to waft the smoke around. And finally, 2 scrolls. The first will give you some ideas on prayers, if you'd like to start your own ritual of cleansing on a regular basis. And the second is called Beyond Sage, which gives you some ideas of other herbs that you can burn to not only help drive away negative energy, but also usher in positive energy. And again, all of this is available through my Etsy shop, landedgentress.etsy.com. So that is it for now, but I hope to see you again real soon. And remember, Mother Nature sends her love.
Hello again, and if you've stayed for this portion of the video, that means you've watched Lady Danny Landed Gentress talk about her various herbs that she offers to help cleansing and healing, to help with health, right, and purification, and you've seen your reading. And I just want to thank you so much for watching this collaboration video. If you enjoyed this kind of video, if you like this kind of collaboration, let me know. Let Lady Danny Landed Gentress know. All of her social media links are below. Leave us a comment. Share this video with your friends. You know, subscribe to the channel. this is what we are trying to do, and this is certainly what Bow and Arrow is trying to do. I am trying to sort of collaborate with people who I know are masters in their field, who are good at what they do and can give you good quality information. And Lady Danni Landed Gentress is one of the best herbalists I know. And for right now, guys, I'm just going to say, have a wonderful, wonderful full moon period, a full moon eclipse, and I shall see you, Taurus, next time. Bye-bye now.